What's up, guys? My name is Define the Meta, and for the first video on this channel, I want to bring you something that is very special to me, Madolches. Now, I have been playing this deck since 2013, and I'm really excited to be playing them in 2020. So, without further ado, let's get into the list. So, to start things off, we have 3 Madolche and Jelly. It's the Stratus of the deck, and you're always going to play 3. Next, we have 3 Madolche and Jellies, one of the most versatile cards in the deck. It helps you start plays, it's a great extender, and you're always going to want to run 3. Next, we have 3 Madolche Hootcake. I know a lot of people play 2, but I think this card is just too good not to run at 3. It helps you get out of situations where you might have something in the grave that you don't want, and it helps either extend or start your plays. I love this card, and I'll always play it at 3. Next, we have 3 of the best play starter in the entire deck, Madolche Pet and Sisur. Now, this card is probably one of the best cards in the deck because it can summon any of the other Madolche cards. Mostly, you're going to be summoning Pudding Sis, and it's just too good not to run at 3. Now we have 3 Madolche Messengelados. Now I have tried so hard to cut this card down to 2. I hate drawing it, especially in my opening hand, but the reason I run 3 is because if you do end up drawing this card in your hand and you only have 2, then you only have 1 Messengelado in your deck to search during the main combo, and that really hinders your potential for the combo. So yes, it's a dead draw, but I think that you have to run 3. It's the same reason why you wouldn't run only 1 O-Lion in a Holic Fibrax strategy. So that's why I run 3. You might be able to cut it down to 2. I haven't found a way. Next, we have Madolche Pudding Sis. Now, this card is probably the brickiest card to draw in your hand. You're always going to be wanting to summon this from your deck with Pet and Sisur to enable Chocolate a la Mode when you overlay into Teacher. So you're only going to play 1. Next, we have 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Effect Veiler. Now, I decided to run these and make this more of a hybrid build that doesn't care if it goes first or second. Now, if you want to play a dedicated going second build, you can replace these with Nibiru's and Dark Ruler No More or Kaiju's. More board breaky cards, but for me, I like having the hand traps in the main board. I know most people don't. So that's personal preference. This is the build I decided to go with. Well, that's it for the monsters. Next, we have the spells. We have 2 Madolche Salon. I think this card is amazing, and I love seeing it in my opening hand, but I don't want to run 3 because they do clog if you draw 2 of them. Now, with Messengelado being able to search any of the Madolche spell and trap cards, I think 2 is enough. And I also run 2 Ticket and 2 Chateau for the same reason. All these cards are highly searchable, and they clog if they get into your hand in multiple copies. So I think 2 is enough. After that, we have 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This card is really good against Eldritch, it's really good against Altergeist, and it's really good against Mystic Mine, which is one of the most annoying cards in the format right now, other than Needle Fiber. So that's why I'm running Cosmic Cyclone over Twin Twister, because you don't always want to discard a card, and it gets around cards like Eldritch, which you don't really want in the graveyard. So next we have 3 Called by the Grave. It's one of the best spell cards printed lately, so of course we're going to be running 3. And then 1 Upstart Goblin, because I think 39 card consistency is better than 40. And for the traps, we have 3 Infinite Impermanence, one of the best hand traps printed, and then 2 Madolche Promenade. I run 2 for the same reason I run 2 of each of the spell cards, because it's highly searchable, it's highly recyclable, and they do clog in your hand if you have 2 or 3 in your hand. So I got it down to 2, and I think it works fine as is. So, that's it for the main deck. It is 40 cards, and it, to me, is one of the most consistent builds that I've been able to come up with. And now we're going to move on to the extra deck. Next, we have 2 Madolche Fresh Sis Starts. Now, this is the card that you're going to be going in at the end of your combo to protect everything, to kind of protect your back row from being just lightning stormed away. So, it's really good. I don't think it's good enough to run 3. If I was running the Pot of Extravagance, I'd probably run 3, but I'm not, so I think 2 is fine, because you can also recycle it with other cards in the deck. And then for the Link 2 generics, we have Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Cerberus, 2 of the most versatile Link 2s in the game, so I'm going to play 1 of each. Then we have IP Masquerena. We never really go into these cards because of Pet and Sisora locking us into Madolches, but they're really good to have in the situations where you need to go into a Nightmare Unicorn or Borreload Dragon to get over a problematic board. Speaking of Nightmare Unicorn, we play one Nightmare Unicorn to go off of with the IP Masquerena for disruption during your opponent's turn if you absolutely have to. I play one Borreload Dragon, but admittedly, I never go into this card. I'd probably think about replacing this card with another teacher, but it's a good card to have if you need to. So this one you can replace with whatever you want. I chose Borreload Dragon as my empty spot filler. Like I said, it's a good card. On to the Madolches, we have two Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. Now, I have thought about upping this to 3 and replacing maybe Borreload Dragon or something else. This card is amazing. It stops your opponent from being able to destroy Madolche monsters with card effects if you use her effect. It allows you to recur resources from the graveyard if a Madolche is sent from the field to the grave. Madolche card, monster, or spell, or trap, it doesn't matter. And it's a free detach so that you can put a Madolche in graveyard to make Chocolate All Mode active when it hits the field. Honestly, it's one of the best Madolche cards printed in a long time, and I've really thought about upping this one to 3. Speaking of 3, we have 3 Madolche Teacher, or Madolche Queen, Tiramisu. Now, this card is one of the best Exceed monsters ever printed. Non-targeting, non-destruction, removal is one of the most powerful effects in the game. And if it wasn't locked to Madolches, it'd probably be banned. So, of course, you're going to be wanting to run 3. The one thing I would say is you could get away with running 2 of these and 3 of the teacher, and that would be perfectly fine, because just like every other card in this deck, these are recyclable. Any Madolche card can be recycled. So you can run 2, you can run 3. I chose 2 teacher, 3 queen. And then we have 2 Madolche Pudding Sis Chocolate a la Mode. This card is one of the best play extenders in the deck. What you do is you summon Pudding Sis off of Pet and Sisora, overlay into Teacher, and then summon this to get the extra special summons from the deck due to her effect. She is a very strong card. I don't think she's worth running at 3 because she can be recycled, but you definitely want more than 1 just in case something happens to the first. And then for the last card in the extra deck, we have 1 Abyss Dweller. Now, you're rarely going to go into this card because it kind of hurts you as much as it hurts them. Well, it doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't help you. Obviously it doesn't affect you, but it doesn't really help you as much as, say, a teacher would. And you're also going to be locked into Madolches most of the time anyway. It's a card that you're mostly going to summon. If you summon your Madeline, search your Pet and Sisora, summon your Pet and Sisora, and then they Ash or Veiler it, then you can just go into Dweller and sit on it and hope that's enough disruption to stop them from OTKing you. So that's why I play 1 Dweller. So that's it for the extra deck. It's 15 cards. And let's go ahead and get on to the side deck. So for the side deck, I play 3 DD Crow. This is for decks like Eldritch, where the Veilers in the deck aren't really useful anymore. So I can switch them out for DD Crows, which will cause much more disruption by banishing the Golden Lord if they activate the effect, or it's good against Salamangreat to banish the Spinny, or the Gazelle, or really any card to stop their play. So I like 3 DD Crow. Next is 3 Artifact Lancia. I think this card, it waves in power. Sometimes it's really powerful in the format, and other times it's just really not that great. But I think on average, it balances out to be a pretty effective card against a few effective strategies. So I like to keep it in my deck just in case. Next, we have 3 Gamma Seal, 3 Nibiru, and 3 Dark Ruler No More. Now, these are the cards that you're going to be siding in for the going second strategy. Now, like I said before, you can swap these cards in with the hand traps that I main deck to make a dedicated going second strategy. And that's perfectly fine. Now, I think that they're better in the side deck. So I like to keep them to keep my opponent off guard. They won't know that I'm playing it because in game 1 I had no kaijus, I didn't have Nibiru's, I didn't have Dark Rulers. So it's a nice little thing to catch people off guard if you aren't already maining them in the first place. So, with all of that said, that is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you're watching this on day of release, I will be opening a box of Battles of Legend Armageddon in just a few days. So go ahead and stay tuned, make sure to like and subscribe if you like the video, and thank you for watching.